Bhagavad Gītā. Om Jaya Bhagavad Gītā. Hariya Kamala Viharini.
Hariya Kamala Viharini.
Sundara Supunite. Om Jaya Bhagavad Gītā.
Now we will go to the next speaker from Egypt, Meena Amin. Are you here? Meena Amin from Egypt.
Yes.
Are you present?
Yes. Yes.
Take 5 minutes.
Yes. Sure. Namaste. With all reverence to our gurus and acharyas, we'll start with the Shanti mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Myself, Meena Amin, a yoga teacher and therapist from Egypt, I'm grateful for contributing today in this conference for the Bhagavad Gītā Jayanti. Happy Bhagavad Gītā Jayanti! And today, the topic which I'm going to speak about is psychological health and the Bhagavad Gītā. The uniqueness of the Bhagavad Gītā is that it's universal. Anybody can relate to it, not a specific part of the world. Any human being can relate to Arjuna and what he went through, the difficulties and the fluctuation of the mind and the disturbance or the confusion. When Sri Krishna agrees with him that Shanshalam hi Manaha Krishna, as Arjuna says, that the mind is fluctuating, is not stable, Sri Krishna agrees, but he also knows to him that one who can control the mind will attain the state of yoga. How to attain the state of yoga? Through the abhyasa and vairagya, through the continuous practice and putting the sincere effort, and through the non-attachment. As the mind can be a friend or an enemy to oneself, the mind is the most powerful tool which we have as human beings. So learning how to master the mind, not suppressing the mind, but mastering the mind, one can turn the mind in his favor to be a friend. Through knowing how to control the mind in a positive way by functioning at a higher level, at the intellect, rather than the ego, rather than the normal daily function and the fluctuations. That is the way that Sri Krishna is speaking about. Here, the symptoms of anxiety and depression are noted in the Bhagavad Gītā. As Arjuna went first into anxiety, he felt his body was shivering, his hair was standing at an end, his legs were not holding him, and the bow in his hand, the gandhav, was falling from his hand. He had high heart palpitation. These are the symptoms of anxiety. After that, through the overthinking process, that it's better for him not to stand in front of his elders and his dear ones, his family, because due to the attachment, and that led him to be depressed. So that is noting how the anxiety, the prolonged anxiety, can turn into depression. He was having guilt that will end his line of family, and he had this wish that it's even better for him to be killed by them than standing in this position. He didn't want to perform his duty and to perform or establish the dharma, doing what is right. He had a clouding of judgment due to the attachment, and he was neglecting his duty. And that is the situation which any one of us can go through, to have a confusion or a bewilderment of memory sometimes, not able to make a decision, feeling that your mind is clouded. And that cycle is explained in the Bhagavad Gītā as well, as Sri Krishna indicates that it starts with the contemplation on the object of the senses. You think again and again and again and again. Due to this overthinking about that object, attachment arises. From attachment, desire arises. From that, anger is there. And then clouding of judgment, rewardment of memory, destruction of the intellect, and after that, the total individual is ruins. So understanding our position, where are we, what are the difficulties we are facing in life, and how they are affecting our psychological state. Is it an anger problem, or some over attachment to something? We feel that we cannot make a decision, indecisiveness, clouding of judgment, or our memory is affected. All that is starting with the contemplation on the object of the senses. As the yoga culture believes that prevention is better than cure, so dealing with everything from the beginning. From the beginning, we don't establish the attachment to anything or any thought. We perform our duty. We are involved. This is not like the misconception that you have to renounce everything to be non-attached. You have to go to the mountain and live your life. This is also the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita. It tells you that from your own position, through every situation in your life, if you can achieve this state of yoga, as yoga is samatvam yoga uchite, the balance, the equanimity of mind, you put your effort, you do your role, and whether you get the result or not, whether you win or you lose, whether you get praised or you get abused or criticized, in any situation you have a balanced mind. So that concept is very important and explained through the Gita. And also yoga is karma so kushalam. So it means that it's excellence or dexterity in skill, that you perform your duty at its best, not by neglecting your duty or your role in the life you will attain the yoga, as some misconception is there. How to put the abhyasa and vairagya in our life, in our today's life. As Sri Krishna indicates, there are different paths, and this path is not only due to differences in the individual or the different characters or persona, but also our different faculties, meaning that it starts with the Gyan Yoga. First, you try to attain the yoga through the introspection, through the studying of the scriptures, through the questioning, and going through this path of wisdom and ancient knowledge. If it's difficult for you, then try to go through the meditation. Sri Krishna says the Dhyan Yoga, to meditate on the Supreme Consciousness. If it's difficult for Arjuna or for any one of us, then you have to go through the Karma Yoga, through the action, through the work that you are doing, um, performing your own duty and serving the community. If it's difficult, then through the Bhakti Yoga, through the devotion, just the devotion, or remembering the Supreme Consciousness and trying to be there. This is the different paths of yoga which are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita as in ancient texts, and how it is related to different faculties of the human being. That first you try to address the intellect, because this is the most direct and most effective way, as Sri Krishna addressed this in Arjuna. He was telling him that he have to do his duty, he have to stand up and fight the battle. So that is one way. Then, because of our today's scenario, and it's not easy always to just address the intellect, maybe you have to step one or two step back. So you try to address the different layers of the body, of the energy, of the mind. So you try to use the meditation for addressing the mind. You try to use the Karma Yoga for addressing the body or the energy. You try to use the Bhakti Yoga for addressing the emotion and culturing our emotion. That is how every individual can apply the yoga on his different layers, not just the different persona, but also different faculties of the human being. So, by controlling the mind, by sharpening the intellect, one can attain the state uh, of peace of the mind, and also, as I mentioned in the previous slide, that the equanimity of the mind, how we can reach such a state, and always to do our action at its best. So being involved, being active in the life, one doesn't have to leave everything behind to attend a state of yoga from your own position. You can perform. This is also one of the beauty of the yoga and the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita. Understanding the natural or the nature of the mind, or the main energies that are running in our mind. Sometimes we are in a bit of lethargic state mentally. Sometimes we're having more energy, more activeness, some anxiety is there. Sometimes we are balanced. So just for the people who are really self-realized and our gurus, they don't go usually through these fluctuations, but for normal people like us, we go through it. So how we can deal with such states until we one day hopefully we overcome this fluctuation, or three different prakriti or nature for the mind as well. First, we have to identify the state which we are in, and to move from the tamas, lethargy, and the depressive state to get more active, transform our mind through the rajas, and then from the rajas we can attain the sattva, or the balanced state. And whenever we are in the balanced state, we try to cultivate that, we try to be in that state. This is the most important, that when you reach there, try to be there as much as we can. This is also an important concept. The Gita emphasize the importance of balance in life, the balance between the food, the sleep, the work, and the entertainment. This is also a very important concept, which even in our today's scenario is being told again and again and again, that this is the key. This is the key to having a balanced life, and to have a more happy life, or more efficient life. Everything is being there and mentioned from thousands and thousands of years ago, this ancient wisdom. If we can just imbibe it and apply it in our life to be part of our lifestyle, then we will see the positive effects, and we will become more blissful, or closer to our true nature. To summarize, the Bhagavad Gita, like traditional ancient texts, focuses on individual holistically. It doesn't only look at the individual as a physical existence, but also on the energy level, on the mental level, the lower nature of the mind, of the ego, of the manas, or the normal functioning of capturing the information through the senses, and also the memory, or functioning more at higher level through the intellect, and trying to attain or to reach a blissful state, to have or apply a spiritual aspect in life. This is the spirituality, adding spirituality in our life. And now the modern understanding that psychosomatic diseases, how they are starting from the mind. So if we can apply or this knowledge to know how the mind is functioning, how we can um, transform our energy, how we can better and improve our lives, then we can end this psychosomatic diseases. We can try to manage it also if it's in a chronic state. We can try to manage it and live in our life like it's not there. And the contribution, of course, of the different ancient texts and the Bhagavad Gita, like mentioned before, the integrated approach of yoga therapy not only focuses on the intellect, though it's the very quickest and easiest way to end any problem is to function at a spiritual level or intellectual level, but this is difficult for most of us. So one have to use all the tools which he has through training the body, through training the energy and training the mind, and using the Bhagavad Gītā and different texts for counseling and for notion correction, to correct our ideas and knowledge, to open our perspective, and to apply that in our life, to understand that we need not to suppress our emotions. We can transform our energies into more positive ones, and we can cultivate more positive aspects in life, and we can overcome different psychological problems which occur in our life, understand how it is starting at its root. Then we can end it, not by taking just medication and trying to suppress the symptoms, but trying to deal and handle it at its root, trying to understand how the mind functions through different texts. And definitely the Bhagavad Gītā is one of the most important texts in that context, as it is also accessible to the common man, accessible to every one of us. Anyone can read it, and we are really grateful for the people who have translated it to many languages today, the interpretation of it, of course. So also everybody can understand and benefit and learn from the lessons which are in the Bhagavad Gītā. Namaste. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So you have nicely presented all these facts which are described in the second chapter and other chapters of Bhagavad Gītā. Very nice. Okay. Thank you very much. Now we will next invite the speaker, Dr. Baisali Shah from Kenya.
Hari Pada Prema Dana Apana